Have you guys seen what a lot of the top players in the world do when they're struggling with their putting? When they can't even make short little 6-footers and they're just all over the place, they grab a wedge. There's a few reasons a pro might grab a wedge and start rolling putts. They're trying to, one, have a large sweet spot. You can basically hit it anywhere. They're trying just to get the ball rolling properly. So they want to just hit above the equator and let it roll. And they're, quite frankly, frustrated with trying to get everything just squared up perfectly. So, pretty interesting theory behind this. And finally, somebody's like, hey, why don't we just make a putter like this so we don't have to deal with this? We can actually use our putter instead of our wedge and solve everybody's problem. We'll see if it works, because these guys over at Spoiler made a putter that uses the same philosophy as a wedge. Only thing is, it's a putter. So we're gonna put this bad boy to the test to see if, one, we're getting a clean roll, a better roll, and two, is it better than my Scotty Cameron, my gamer? What we have is a shape very similar to a wedge. So we've got the bounce, or what would be the bounce of the wedge, as your spoiler looking putter. And then the edge comes up and we have a rounded leading edge with grooves in it. So it doesn't really matter what angle you strike it at, that ball is gonna come off, hopefully, at the right launch angle and just start rolling as soon as possible. So we've got some variability whether you have your hands forward or hands back. Also, our sweet spot in this thing would be extremely large. We've got this plate, weighted plate in the back, so we're moving the CG, the center of gravity, up and as forward as possible in the club. So a conventional club here, our sweet spot is going to be pretty small. Instead of being about the width of this line to the width of a ball, which would be ideal, so that no matter where you strike it, if you're a little off, you're getting the exact same performance. So test one, we're just gonna go Spoiler versus Cameron, short putts, about 3-4 feet. I'm looking for, can I line it up perfectly every time? And how does that ball start? Does it roll nicely as it goes toward the hole? Whoa. It's got a good feel to it. And let me do the same thing with this. I'm gonna hit a couple off the toe, off the heel, see if I get the exact same feel as when I hit it in the center of the putter. Oh, it feels identical. All right, next up, we'll see these long putts. The harder you hit it, the longer the swing, the more that ball has an opportunity to lift in the air, start bouncing all over the place. So if we're getting a bounce, huge bounce for a while, then we know this is not working well. And as we go, I'm listening for skid too, because it could come off low, but it could be back spinning, and that would be the skid. So what bounce is, it's driving into the ground early and hopping, and a skid noise is and it's back spinning and skidding and then rolling. So it could come off low, but backspin, or it could come off high and backspin, or it could come off straight down and pop up. Those are the things we're looking for. Now from the same spot with the Scotty Cameron, I'm looking really for bounce, how that ball's coming off the face of the putter. I'm already noticing something with this putter that I think I quite like. And I'm gonna test it here on these little guys, and I'll let you know what it is if I feel like it's working. And working doesn't mean the ball goes in the hole. Working means it rolls perfect. And that was a perfect roll. Another perfect roll. And I'll line this one up. that line is perfect. That's a perfect roll. Okay, my theory, I believe, is correct. If I have my hands back, then it seems like the spoiler is pointing too vertical. It's going too high in the air, and then that ball, it's going up, and I get a little bit of a launch. Maybe I made it too much a launch, and then bouncing. Although the ball does roll perfectly, we get more launch. But if I get my hands much more forward here, that's probably normal. I'm more of a hands back guy. But if I really put those hands forward, then that spoiler goes a little bit lower. I hit way below the equator of the ball, and it seems like I get a great, beautiful roll at that point. There is no bouncing and there's no skidding. It's almost like it just goes and rolls with my hands a lot more forward than I normally do. Yeah, that's a perfect roll, although it didn't go in. So what happens if I do the exact same thing with my Scotty Cameron? I really put my hands forward and almost the same thing. That face looks pretty de-lofted at this point. Although I made that one. Maybe I need to put my hands forward all the time. Anyway. But I see my ball actually go down and pop up a little. So it's driving it into the ground too much here. What's interesting about spoiler here, it looks very similar to other mallet putters. It's not like so abstract that it's like, oh, that's the weirdest looking putter I've ever seen. It just kind of looks like a mallet putter. Most mallets are going to be face balanced putters, meaning when you just balance them like this in the air, the face is square. So you balance it here, that face would be perfectly square right there. That would be a face balanced putter. The Plumber's Neck, Scotty Cameron, Newport 2 styles are basically what you call 45-degree toe down putters, that would be what, 90, this would be square, face balance. This is like 45 degrees toe down, toe is down. This would be slightly toe down, maybe like 10 degrees, 12 degrees toe down. So that helps if you're not a perfectly straight through putter. It allows for a slight toe rotation, which I personally like. There is one thing I do not like about this, and I think it could be easily fixed, and that's this. If you putt with your wedge and you're done, somebody will give you, that's good, you could just pick it up. If you got your Cameron or whatever, you can kind of do the same thing and just scoop that ball up. The problem is you can't really, it's really hard to do. I guess you can do it. It's not the easiest to scoop up. You've got to really scoop it in. Like, it takes a whole new trick shot ability to be able to get it. I think they could easily fix that with just a little bit different shape of the spoiler in the tail of this. Comment below, let me know what you think about the spoiler lead edge roll putter. So far, so good. I really like the roll we're getting and the performance we're getting, and the feel is really good. Feels solid. I don't really have any complaints. Will it be my gamer? I'll tell you what. One, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you have done so, just subscribe again, double check, make sure you're still there. All right, if I make this putt, this like 35 footer, this will be my gamer, no questions asked, for the next 3 months. Here we go. We got one chance. There's a little imperfection in my line, so I'm gonna move it over here. Here we go. One chance for all the marbles. These greens are rolling 14 on the Stimpmeter. That's not gonna go in. But it felt good. I gotta admit. I'll leave a link below for their website. You could check everything down below in the link. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. See you soon.